Hi, I'm Coach Christian, and I help extremely stressed people to deal with their stress by observing it for themselves. Welcome to yet another video. I've been on vacation for a few days, but every single day I publish a video that's specifically designed to help you deal with your stress and solve a problem that's stressing you out. So, without wasting any time, let's actually tackle the question of the day. And the question is as follows: Coach Christian, how can I be nice without letting people take advantage of me? Coach Christian, how can I be nice without letting people take advantage of me? Yes, so the question itself is how to be nice without being taken advantage of. So the first question I'll have to ask is, why do you think you need to be nice at all? Have you come to the conclusion that you need to be nice, or is it something that you've been taught by your society? Right? Your society has taught you to be nice and friendly, to smile all the time, even if you don't want to smile, all of that stuff. Okay? So, are you merely following what you've been told, or have you looked at the situation and realized you have to be nice? You see? Because it's better to look at the situation itself, right? The situation tells you what the correct way to behave is. So, for instance, in your interactions with people, what have you found to work, right? So, if you're a guy, maybe you spent time with I don't know, you spend time with women, maybe in your household, or I mean, it could be any situation. Okay, so for instance, I mean, if you look at the actual situation, right? Just any interaction you've had with people. Uh, here's one thing. If you pay attention, you'll realize. Here's one thing you'll observe is that as a general rule, and this is what I've seen, it's very rare to find a human being who is not going to exploit your weakness in some way. Usually, the way we behave as human beings is that if someone is weak in any way, we won't hesitate to exploit their weakness in order to get what we want. So this is the reality of human beings. Think about it, right? Like, I mean, you have issues of, let's say, men hitting women. Part of it is just that the woman is physically weaker than a man. Right? This is part of why the whole idea of hitting them comes in. A while back, I was observing children, and I realized that the bigger child is beating the smaller child. And the reason he's doing that is because the smaller child is weak and he's strong, physically speaking. But this applies to all sorts of weaknesses, right? So, if let's say I had this experience many times, if you're living in somebody's house, right, and they know that you have nowhere else to go, okay, now they're going to exploit you, you know. They might insult you, say all sorts of things to you because they know that they have power over you. You need the house, right? So this is part of the reality of human beings. So when it comes to dealing with people, you see, if you're nice, if you're nice to them, you're kind, you're smiling, you do whatever they want, you apologize all the time. This is what you've been taught by your society to be the correct way to behave. That's how you should be. That's how a real person, a true man should be like that, or a woman should be like that. But here's the reality. If you're nice, people do take advantage of you, right? if you're nice, as in if you're following what you've been taught about, oh, be kind, be gentle, be loving, um, place others' needs ahead of your own. If you do that, the reality is people are going to walk all over you. So the question is justified. How can I be nice without? How can I be nice without letting people take advantage of me? So obviously, first of all, we're saying I don't know why you want to be nice. Okay. So here are certain things. There's some grain of truth to the conventional wisdom. Here's something that's definitely, uh, I don't know anything for definite, but here's the observation, right? If you want people to perform at their best, it's important to keep them at ease, right? So people perform at their best when they're joyful, they are peaceful and joyful. For example, notice that most of the times when you're tense, when you're angry, you're not as effective as if you were relaxed and joyful. You perform better when you're calm and joyful. This is true with human beings, with other people as well. So if you're like, let's say, managing a group of people, okay, so if you're angry all the time or shouting at people all the time, that's not going to work. And the reason it's not going to work is that people are tense next to you. They're afraid of you. They're tense, right? And if when people are tense and afraid of you, you can't get the best out of them. You can't get the best solutions because people are performing under fear, and fear is not a good way to perform. So it's indeed true that if you want to get the best out of people, you want to keep them at ease. You don't want them to be defensive, which means obviously you don't want to be shouting at them, you don't want to be insulting them, you don't want to be threatening them with physical violence. You want to be as non-threatening as possible. This is correct. But obviously, you see, if you're this way all the time, right? If you're always calm, non-threatening, just always trying to make everybody feel good, eventually they take advantage of you, because now it's just being seen as weakness, and it is weakness, right? Because typically what's happening, people are hiding under the umbrella of being nice because they don't want to face certain harsh realities. Here's what I mean. It's for instance, a child could say that he's I mean, you could say to yourself, you're really nice. So, for instance, let's say, let me use a good example. Okay, let's try this one out. So your girlfriend has picked up a lot of weight, right? Your girlfriend is she's now heavy, overweight. And let's say you're no longer sexually aroused by her, right? She could ask you the question, "Hey, honey, do you think I'm hot?" And then you say you're trying to be nice, right? So in being nice, you say to her, "Yes, you're the most amazing, beautiful woman I ever saw." So you think to yourself that you're being nice, but in this situation, you're being a pussy. Right? You're afraid. You don't want to say things as they are. You don't want to face conflict. Whereas maybe the best option in that situation would have been, hey, you tell her the truth. Look, you're overweight and I'm not aroused by you. Just say it. You don't have to be angry while saying it, but you just say it. You say things as they are, right? You're not avoiding conflict, right? Because avoiding conflict is just weakness, and people are gonna notice that you're avoiding conflict, and they'll take advantage of you because they know you're gonna avoid conflict. So the key is, here's at least how I do it. I want to put people at ease, but I'm not going to avoid conflict if the moment requires conflict. You see, so that's not really being nice, right? So if there's something somebody's doing that I don't like, I'm not going to be nice and just keep quiet about it, right? So instead, in that situation, what is more intelligent to do is the moment something comes up, the moment a conflict comes up, confront it, okay? You talk to me in such and such a way. I didn't appreciate being insulted, right? Or you're living in this house. I expect you to do some of the work. If you don't want to do any of the work, please leave, right? Direct, right? Right. So this is like you're putting people at ease. You're not insulting them. You're not maltreating them, but you're not nice in the sense that you're avoiding conflict, because conflict is an inevitable Conflict is an inevitable part of life. When you're dealing with people, there is conflict. Right? People are not always going to do what you want, right? And it's important to be able to stand up to them, right? So, I mean, there's many manifestations of this, but uh, I mean, there's even this situation, right? For instance, let's say with children, right? I've seen it before, right? So if you're overly kind to children, giving them what they want, praising them all the time, even the kids lose respect for you. You know, they start to do. They can insult you. They can punch you in the face. They don't listen to you. They've lost respect for you, right? Because you think you're being nice and gentle, right? Whereas now you've made them too important. You've put them above yourself, and now there's a problem, right? So should you be nice to kids? No, don't be nice to them. I'm not saying beat them up or anything like that, but I mean, of course, it makes sense to put them at ease, right? Because when they're at ease, you're also at ease. But if something has to be said or something has to be done, it has to be done, all right? So no, now you're making noise for me. Leave the room, okay? That's this is part of the interaction within people. So most of the time when you're talking about being nice, you're talking about avoiding conflict, right? That's what being nice is. Avoiding conflict, not speaking your mind, tolerating things that you don't want to tolerate, right? So that pathway is just is not going to lead anywhere. And the pathway of yelling at everybody, being angry, is also not going to lead anywhere, right? Because if you're constantly shouting at people, yelling at them, they're all afraid of you, right? They're going to resent you, and then it's not going to work. But what I noticed when it comes to conflicts between people, if you address issues head on, in the moment it feels uncomfortable, but people actually respect you for it, right? And it doesn't really, I mean, you're afraid of like speaking your mind or saying things as they are. You're afraid of that because you think, oh shit, it might ruin the entire relationship, you know? What if I tell her that she's put on too much weight and she's too fat? What if I tell her that and she leaves? Right. I mean, that's a potential reality, but it could be that you'll tell her that. If you tell her not in a mean-spirited way, but you say it exactly as it is, right? Sometimes when you say things direct like that, people tend to change, you know? I've noticed in many cases they try to fix it, right? They try to do some, maybe go to the gym or whatever, if that's the weight issue. But it's the weight issue is just an example, right? So in no way am I advocating for weakness, and also in no way am I telling you what to do. You see, because this is like my own experimentation has led me to find that it what I really need is to put people at ease while still telling them the truth and holding them accountable and communicating when a problem is there, not keeping problems to myself. I found this to be the most effective way to work with people. But is it the most effective way to work with people? I don't know that. Right? There's probably other better ways or just different ways of working with people. You're not like me. Right? You have your own style, right? This is why it's important to pay attention to your own relationships, observe your own relationships, and find out what works. Right? You could just start by being kind and then notice how people take advantage of you. Just pay attention to those moments, and then you'll find your own adjustment. Right? A way for you to be at ease with people without them taking advantage of you. I can't truly tell you how to do it. I was just telling you what works for me. Now, if you found this video to be useful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. Ding, 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 ding. This will notify you whenever I publish a new video. And as I said before, I typically publish a video every single day. And the video is specifically designed to answer a question. So if you have a question that you might like me to answer in a future forthcoming video, please add it in the comment section below. And if you have a comment, I want to hear it. For instance, uh, do you buy this whole idea that actually being nice is weakness? Right? Add it in the description below. I want to know what you're thinking so I can make videos that serve you. And if you're really interested in figuring out how can you find your own way of dealing with people, how can you find your own way of having happy, joyful interactions with people without having them take advantage of you. If you want to observe and figure out your own way of doing it, then I have a tool that can help you. Just go to the description of this video, click on a link called the Observe Approach. This will give you free and instant access to a simple but very powerful method that you can apply immediately, right? You can apply it immediately to start observing your relationships, observing your interactions with people, so that you can figure out your own way of being at ease and well with people without having them step on your head and take advantage of you. Um, and I'll add more. I have a couple of videos related to this topic. Um, so, I mean, if I find such video, actually, I don't think I have others related specifically to this. So, but I'll add, if I find any, I'll just add them. So if you just go to the description, videos that are you might find videos that are related or that are suggested, right, to help you in your continued development in when it comes to dealing with stress and creating the kind of life that you want to have. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.